Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cestas hanging basket lining system. Each pack contains 3 liners. Each one will line any basket up to 16-inch diameter. They'll also do half round baskets. Baskets with wide bars are no problem. Each pack has its own instruction leaflet on the inside. It's very simple to follow step by step, and the birds can't steal this for the nesting material once you've put all your hard work into it. Place one of your liners over the basket so that it's evenly spaced. Take a piece of polythene, a margarine tub would do, or a plant saucer to create a reservoir where some water can store for the hot summer days. I put some compost in the bottom. At that stage I always add osmocote slow release fertiliser. That feeds the basket for 6 months, which is about the duration. Then I fill the basket right to the top. Right, when the basket's full you'll notice some gathers in the material. Spend a few seconds spreading those out. It gives a nice appearance underneath, as you'll see shortly. Now on each pack you'll find 3 elastic bands, there's one for each liner. Place one over the rim of the basket like so. Tidy this top up once again by just pulling down lightly on it. Only takes seconds, but it all adds to the appearance. Then with a pair of scissors, trim your liner to about 2.5 inches. Doesn't have to be neat or accurate, roundabout will do. Right. Then with this loose edge, draw your compost back, you lift it over and tuck it back into itself like so. Very simple, very neat every time. If you bear with me, I'll show you how to plant it shortly. Just takes a few more seconds. And that's your basket ready to plant now. If you want to do a simple basket like the one on the side there, 3 Saphinia petunias evenly spaced on the top will give you a terrific show. You could add to that with a fuchsia, geranium, non-stop begonia, that would give you some height. There's lots of other nice plants on the market, bacopas, diaceas, lobelias. They will all trill and add different colours and textures to your basket. If you want to be adventurous, do a busy lizzie ball like the one on the front cover of our leaflet. You need to plant the sides as well. It's very simple with this liner, very difficult with most others. I start off about 1/3 of the way down. I make a slot in the liner. I make a cavity for a plant to go in. If you go to your local garden centre you get busy lizzies and all kinds of plants in small cells like this, ideal for making ball baskets. These are trailing lobelias, but I'll use those as an example. You just pop one through and firm the compost onto it. It's as simple as that. I move sideways just above the polythene reservoir. I do the same again there. Pop the plant in and firm the compost onto it. Back to the top again. Same again there. You see a pattern starting to emerge now with all the plants that are evenly spaced up and down the side of the basket, just as you would set them out if you built it up with sphagnum moss. When the sides are complete, I have 2 plants to get high up there, so I'll go in between on the top. That one should line up directly with the first one, you see. I'm just following a pattern now. We set that out at the beginning. That pattern takes me along to something like that. I put a few extra ones in the middle and that's your basket complete. As they start to grow they compete for the space and light around them and they form themselves into the ball like the one up to my left there. If you'd like to do a winter basket with this liner, obviously with large plant pots like that where you would get with winter pansy, you wouldn't fit through the bars in the side of the basket, so you need to do it a slightly different method. I'll show you. I start off just as before. I fill the basket right to the top. For a winter basket I would dispense with the polythene reservoir, because if the water stands and freezes it will damage the roots of the plants. So I fill the basket to the top, put the elastic band on, trim it off, then I take half the compost back out. That gives a nice shape in place underneath, you see. I decide where I'm going to start putting my plants, make a slot in the liner from the inside. You take a piece of polythene, about 10-12 inches square will do. Take your plant out of the pack. If you wrap the foliage firmly but gently, doesn't matter how big the plant is, if you do it this way you can pass that through the gap and that will protect the foliage till the plant goes in. Carry on around the sides and that's your basket complete, just as before. Right, we've had a lot of demand for people with large baskets or hayracks, mangers, things like that, and we're stuck with a fixed width on our material. So how we get around this to supply people for such baskets, we supply 2 pieces, each piece, and then we overlap them in the centre of the basket. There's your first piece. The second one should come to the centre. It'll overlap the first one by about 6 inches or so. And these liners will do any basket up to about 36 inches. Window boxes we can do any length you care to wish. Same again, I put a polythene liner in the bottom to create a reservoir where some water can store for the hot days. Then I put some compost in. Again, I add the slow release fertiliser, which feeds the basket for 6 months, which is about the duration. Then I fill the basket right to the top. Right. When your basket's full, once again, tidy the top up by just pulling lightly on to get all the overlaps out. That makes it easy to put your plants in the side if that's what you wish to do. Now with us not knowing the size, rather than elastic bands, we supply a piece of green garden twine with your liners. Place that round the rim of the basket like so. Put a loop in one end and then pass it through. And that will do the same job as the elastic band in the standard liners. Just pull that as tight as you can, hold it and then tie it off. Oops. Pass that through. And there we go. Once again, tidy this top up by just pulling down lightly on it. Now if you have a wrought iron basket with a wide bar at the top, some of them have a wide 2-inch bar, leave 4 to 5 inches on the overlap, and that will allow enough to come back over the rim. And say again, trim the liner off to about 2.5 up to 5 inches depending on the width of the bar. On a hay rack you will put the first piece of material down the front of the basket to the bottom, and then your second one down the back, and then overlap the first piece and tuck it in just as in the earlier demonstration. I say this liner will do any basket up to 56-inch wall baskets, which are pretty narrow, and hayracks up to 36 inches across, and baskets 36 inches. And that's your basket ready now. Right. These are a couple of hayracks that we've done for a customer. They're about 24 inches across the back. You can see the joint there where the two, we do the two together because they sit okay on a bucket, which is easy to transport them and move them around. So, and that's just another variation of the original amateur's answer hanging basket line.